Nationalism is a powerful feeling. It is the love for one's nation and its people. It is the belief that your nation is unique and special. Nationalists want their nation to be strong and independent. Imagine a time when countries as we know them did not exist. In Europe, for centuries, people were ruled by kings and queens. They identified more with their local regions than with a larger nation. Nationalism changed all that. It emerged as a powerful force in the 19th century. It reshaped the map of Europe and gave birth to many modern nation-states. This chapter will explore the rise of nationalism in 19th century Europe. We will learn about the events and ideas that fueled this powerful force. In the early 1800s, Europe was divided. It wasn't like the map we see today. Europe was a mix of small kingdoms, duchies and empires, each with its own ruler, language and culture. People didn't see themselves as part of one nation. They identified with their local regions and dialects. For example, someone in the Italian peninsula might think of themselves as Venetian or Sicilian before Italian. This fragmented map of Europe was about to change. The French Revolution in 1789 started events that would spread across Europe and spark nationalism. The French Revolution, which began in 1789, was a pivotal moment in European history. It was a time of great upheaval and change, marked by the fall of the Bastille and the rise of revolutionary fervour. The French people, tired of the absolute rule of King Louis XVI, rose up to demand liberty, equality and fraternity, ideals that would become the revolution's rallying cry. The revolution sent shockwaves across Europe, challenging the established monarchies and feudal systems. It inspired people in other countries to fight for their own freedom, leading to a wave of revolutionary movements across the continent. The French Revolution demonstrated that ordinary people could bring about extraordinary change, overthrowing centuries-old institutions. One of the most important legacies of the French Revolution was the concept of popular sovereignty, the idea that the power of the government comes from the people, not from a monarch or a divine right. This idea resonated deeply with people across Europe and became a cornerstone of nationalist movements, fueling the drive for self-determination and democratic governance. Napoleon Bonaparte, a brilliant military strategist, rose to power in the aftermath of the French Revolution. He crowned himself Emperor of France and set out to conquer much of Europe. Napoleon's conquests, while motivated by ambition, ironically helped to spread the ideas of the French Revolution, including nationalism. He introduced reforms in the lands he conquered, like abolishing feudalism and promoting equality before the law. Though Napoleon's empire was short-lived, his conquests had a lasting impact. They stirred nationalist sentiments in the people he conquered. They began to see themselves as distinct from their rulers and yearned for self-rule. Section 5. The Congress of Vienna, attempting to turn back the clock. After Napoleon's defeat in 1815, the great powers of Europe met at the Congress of Vienna. Their goal was to restore order and prevent future revolutions. They wanted to turn back the clock to a time before the French Revolution and Napoleon. The Congress of Vienna redrew the map of Europe, ignoring the aspirations of many people for national unity. They believed that restoring the old order with its balance of power was the best way to ensure peace. However, the Congress of Vienna could not erase the ideas of nationalism and liberalism that had taken root in Europe. The seeds of discontent had been sown, and it was only a matter of time before they sprouted into new revolutions. Section 6. Revolutions across Europe, the year 1848. The year 1848 witnessed a wave of revolutions across Europe. From France to the Italian peninsula, from the German states to the Austrian Empire, people rose up to demand change. These revolutions were driven by a complex mix of factors, including economic hardship, political repression, and most importantly, the desire for national unity. The revolutions of 1848, though ultimately unsuccessful in achieving their immediate goals, demonstrated the growing strength of nationalist sentiment. The revolutions of 1848 showed that the forces unleashed by the French Revolution were far from extinguished. The desire for liberty and national self-determination continued to burn brightly in the hearts of many Europeans. Section 7. The rise of new nations, Italy and Germany. The latter half of the 19th century witnessed the unification of both Italy and Germany, two regions that had long been divided into smaller states. These unifications were triumphs for nationalism and significantly altered the balance of power in Europe. In Italy, figures like Giuseppe Garibaldi, a charismatic military leader, played a key role in uniting the different Italian states under the Kingdom of Italy. In Germany, Otto von Bismarck, the cunning Prime Minister of Prussia, used a combination of diplomacy and warfare to forge a unified German empire. The unification of Italy and Germany demonstrated the power of nationalism to create new nation-states. It also showed that nationalism could be a double-edged sword, capable of fostering both unity and conflict. Section 8. The two faces of nationalism. While nationalism could be a force for unity and progress, it also had a darker side. Nationalism often led to rivalry and conflict between different nations, as each sought to assert its own interests and identity. This was evident in the growing militarism and imperialism of the late 19th century, as European powers competed for colonies and global dominance. Nationalist sentiments would ultimately contribute to the outbreak of World War I in 1914, a conflict that would engulf Europe in one of the deadliest wars in human history. Nationalism, therefore, was a complex and multifaceted force, capable of both great good and great harm. It was a powerful idea that shaped the destiny of Europe and continues to shape the world today. Section 9. Conclusion: the enduring legacy of nationalism. The rise of nationalism in 19th century Europe was a transformative period. It remade the map of Europe and gave birth to many modern nation-states. It was a period of both great hope and great upheaval of both progress and conflict. The legacy of nationalism is complex and multifaceted. On the one hand, it inspired movements for freedom and self-determination. On the other hand, it also contributed to rivalry, conflict, and war. Understanding nationalism is essential for comprehending the complexities of the modern world. It is a force that continues to shape our world, for better or worse. As we navigate the challenges of the 21st century, it is crucial to remember both the unifying and divisive potential of this powerful sentiment.